All right, welcome back. How was everybody's first day? I'm curious. Is anybody willing to unmute their microphone? And yeah, tiring. Okay, you can also put it in the chat. Um, well, I'm impressed. You made it to day two. So I know that we have some people who aren't here, and I'm recording the call. I'll post this on the blog so that people can see what they miss. The focus of today's meeting, when we're here on Tuesday now, and I know we've got half the alphabet here, which is going to make things interesting as we go forward. You'll actually have two chances to be in meetings with me because I'm going to send these to the entire class. I know that other teachers have synchronous meetings during the same times on the other alphabet days, so it'll be up to you to make decisions about what you need the most. As always, if you have a question in between our Zoom sessions, you can send me an email at dpreston.learning@gmail.com, or you can hit the schedule a meeting with Dr. Preston tab on the course blog and reserve some one-on-one time on Calendly. So yesterday was a big day for everybody, and what I think I'd like to do is go ahead and share my screen so that we can look at this together for a few minutes, and then we'll have some time to work. So if you'll remember, yesterday I said that every single day that we're in school, regardless of whether we have a Zoom meeting or not, you're going to have a daily agenda on the course blog. So you can see here, this is the agenda for today, August 18th. I actually forgot to put music on for today, so I'll have to remedy that tomorrow. And the beginning is a journal topic. So for today, it's describe your most memorable moment from this class yesterday. And even for the people who couldn't connect on the Zoom call, you know, I can't think of a more memorable beginning to the school year because, you know, someday when you have kids or grandkids or, you know, your godmothers or godfathers, somebody's going to ask you, hey, tell me, what was it like to go to school during the pandemic in 2020? Your remembrances now will be the stories that you tell tomorrow. So remember, you're going to need a spiral notebook or a composition book. And even though we're not in person, and to be perfectly honest, I haven't actually figured out exactly how we're going to share our journals with me and get feedback on that, I do want you to be able to write with a pen on paper for two real important reasons. Number one, it exercises a different part of your brain and a different style of your thinking than typing on a keyboard. And number two, this is your journal, right? And sometimes in our journals, we need to be able to write things that we may not necessarily want to put on the internet for everybody else to see. So please make sure that you have a spiral notebook or a composition book. If you don't yet today, just write today's journal topic on a piece of paper. If we were in class together, I would ask after about 8-10 minutes how people were doing. I would give yourself about that. You can give yourself more if you get on a roll. You don't have to stop, but you also don't feel like you have to torture yourself. I would say a minimum of about half a page would be good. Sometimes people are tempted to answer school style questions like with a sentence. And to me, that's like an appetizer, right? And especially if you say something interesting and it's a good appetizer, if I get, like, imagine if you get the best meal ever and you get a bite of it and you taste that and it's like, oh, so good. And then you want the rest of it. And the chef says, nah, that was the whole thing. That's like almost worse than having nothing at all to begin with. So half a page is pretty good. Anything more than that, obviously, with more descriptive detail is welcome. While I'm on the subject, a lot of people ask me every year, how long should something be? And I can't help but remember what Abraham Lincoln said about the length of his speech. He said, and this isn't entirely politically correct, but I'm going to say it anyway, even though I know I'm recording this, because what he said stuck out in my memory, and so maybe it'll stick out in yours. What he said was, a good speech, and I'm going to say a good composition, should be about as long as a woman's skirt. It should be short enough to cover long enough to cover the basics, but short enough to keep things interesting. And that's what I'm going to suggest to you. So whether it's a blog post or a journal topic, make sure that your work is long enough to cover the basics, especially if it's an essay or a longer form piece. But also, don't feel like you have to add words for the sake of adding words. make sure that it's short enough to keep things interesting. Say what you need to say. And a few of you mentioned in your comments on the blog that you wanted to improve your writing this year. A big part of improving our writing is taking out everything that's not essential. If you've ever heard of Michelangelo's statue, the David, and that was actually who I was named after, he took a big piece of rock, a big piece of marble. And as the story goes, he sort of envisioned what he saw in that. And when he sculpted it, he took away everything that wasn't needed. And what remained was something beautiful. And I'll put up a post about that to show you what I mean. So to come back to the agenda, we've got the journal, and then we actually have our agendas. And then we'll have a section that has to do with your work. Now, right now, I just said your work. I can't use the word homework. I never liked the word homework in the first place, but this year, everything's homework. But as the year goes on, this is last year's blog, I'm going to put up suggestions for posts. So let's get to, so like here, you can see the journal topic. We'll get to minutes of mindfulness later on. Then we have our agenda, and then I'll make suggestions about what to put on your blog. I say suggestions because you might also, once in a while, put up things like when I put this up that had clearly nothing to do with the class. I was just having a moment. And because these are your blogs, you can also put up things that are interesting to you because they're in the news, or it's an issue that you really care about, or sometimes like this one, you just want to put something up because, and maybe it's even a sense of humor kind of thing, and that's fine too. All right, now let's come back to what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday, I gave you some specific things to do, and I asked you to put them on this sheet. And I'm really proud of you guys. As a class, a lot of people did a lot of stuff. Well done. Now, I'm looking at the did-its on the course blog and emails, and what this tells me is I've got to figure out where the gap was, because as I look at the member blogs page right now, I've got a couple here. I've got 3, but I can look at the sheet and say, okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that tells me that there are 4 people who did it, and I trust you, but I'm not seeing them here. So if you're a person who wrote did it and you don't see your name or your course blog on the member blogs list, will you please hit me up again on email and double check with me that we got it done? Because what I would like to see, and I'm going back to last year's blog to show you the difference, this is what the member blogs roster should look like. Every single person should have their blog right next to their name. And my goal for today and tomorrow is to spend time after I give you this short introduction to work on those things. Now, this period is an honors class, and I recognize that some of you might be prepared to move on with a couple of things. So I want to add a couple of things to the mix for you to be able to do that. And here's what I have in mind. So to start with, a few people have wondered, well, what's the first thing I should put up on my blog? And my answer is a welcome message. So if you already have your blog ready to go and you're wondering what you should post first, it should be some sort of message that invites people to this space and helps them understand what they can expect to see here from now on. I like to think of it this way. There's 2 kinds of parties in the world. There's the kind of party where you open the door and the music's thumping, the food and drink is great, the people are beautiful, everyone's having a great time, and that's where you want to be. The second kind of party is where you open the door and it's quiet and there's like 2 people sitting on a couch looking sad, but hopefully at you as maybe the good time that they were looking for. That's not where you want to be. So when you set a tone, and tone is the author's attitude, right? We're in an English class, we can talk about literature right now too, because that's what we're creating. The tone that you create, your attitude towards the topic or the people who read your blog should be positive, inviting, enthusiastic, and you don't care if anybody else gets you or not yet, because really you're where they should want to be. So when you welcome them to your blog, you're basically saying, hi, this is where I'm thinking out loud about my English course and lots of other stuff. Come back and visit frequently because I'm going to add to this all the time and I'd love to know what you think. It can be short and sweet just like that. So that's one next step you can take today. Another next step is, if you notice, I mentioned in today's agenda a poem called Richard Cory. Now, this is where I should probably explain myself a little bit. Every single thing that I do when I teach has a reason, and that's only fair. A lot of times when I was a student, I would be in a class, a teacher would assign something, I would think to myself, man, this seems like a straight waste of my time. Why am I doing this? And a lot of times they wouldn't answer me. I think it's fair, if you ever have a question about why I'm asking you to do something, to answer, honestly, here's why. And we should be able to agree on the fact that that's valuable. So if I say the word memorize, I know I'm going to lose like 3/4 of my audience right there. But if I say to you, you know, we're living in this crazy culture. Everybody's stressed out. We got information overload. Half the time, I can't even sit and read because my mind is so busy distracting me with others' thoughts. But I also know that my brain is like some of the muscles in my body that get stronger the more I work out. And if I train my brain to be able to remember things and think about them more deeply, I am going to get more meaning from everything I think about, and I'm going to become better skilled. I'm also going to become wiser. So I want to help build our minds this year to be able to take more advantage of everything that we do. And that's why I am going to ask you to spend some time with a poem. Now, I wouldn't ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So let me give you an example. I'm going to put this poem up on the screen, and I'm not going to read it. Here's what I'm going to do. Can someone please tell me that you see me covering my eyes? Just someone unmute your mic and say, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, thank you. So you know I can't see the screen right now, yeah? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, we people on the pavement looked at him. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean-favored and imperially slim. And he was always quietly arrayed, and he was always human when he talked. But still, he fluttered pulses when he said good morning, and he glittered when he walked. And he was rich, yes, richer than a king, and admirably schooled in every grace. In fine, we thought that he was everything, to make us wish that we were in his place. So, on we worked, and waited for the light, and went without the meat, and cursed the bread, until one calm summer night, when Richard Cory went home and put a bullet through his head. Now, on one hand, damn, Richard Cory, what was going on with that guy? Here he was, seemingly successful to everyone who observed him, and yet he was so something on the inside that he killed himself. But the other thing is that I wanted to model for you what it looks like to really know a text. And to do that, you have to spend enough time with it, like when you listen to a song. The first time you listen to a song, you hear all sorts of amazing first impressions. Has anybody seen those videos with those two great guys from Indiana who like listened to Phil Collins for the first time and it went viral? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'll post that. There are these two brothers who have this great channel on YouTube where they listen to music they've never heard before. Their followers suggest a song, they listen to the song, and you see them like getting a very first impression of that music. Well, there's great appeal to that. Anything for the first time is going to be super engaging because it's new. But the songs that you know by heart are the ones that you have listened to over and over, you sung to. Half the time you sung, I did the same thing. You sing the wrong words to the song and all of a sudden you realize that. But you know so much. The songs that you know by heart could fill a catalog. So you don't have to do this today, but where this is going, this is kind of a preview of coming attractions. And if you're ready for it, you can certainly start. But you're going to memorize this pretty brief poem, and you're going to make a video to put on your blog. It can be Flipgrid, it can be TikTok, it can be YouTube. Whatever format you want to use is fine with me, and you're going to have some choices, and I'll post about this later in the week. But be mindful that this is coming down the road, and I didn't want you to be surprised. Before we go on into the working part of our session together today, does anybody have any questions for me about anything from yesterday or today? And you can ask them or you can put them in the chat. I'll stop the share so we can focus on each other and I can see the chat. Is there anything that anyone would like to know about, whether it's the blogs or the sheet that I asked you to put your work on, that just did it, anything at all?
By when do we have to post the video?
I haven't even decided yet. I was giving you a preview of coming attractions because I know that some people in this class are moving pretty quick. And when I was a student, I hate to get bored. So I just wanted you to know that that was on the road. I'm guessing either, I don't know, end of this week, beginning of next week, maybe the beginning of next week. So I'll give people the weekend. What do you think? Here's a unique question the teacher's asking you. Fatima, when do you think would be a fair date for that one?
Me particularly, I'm not very good at memorizing things, but I think probably like 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes.
All right. I'll take that under advisement. We can negotiate that. How about that for easy? Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason I say it that way is because life's too short to miss having a sense of humor, but I also want you to know that I'm taking in a whole lot of new students right now, and I'm trying to work with you all under very unusual circumstances. So having that feedback is actually helpful to me, and I want to meet you where you live and make it possible for you to feel like you're successful. So I do mean that sincerely. And the question from Jorge in the chat, yes, Jorge, we're going to be updating our blogs today. So when you think about the things that you can put on your blog, you can style it out with your own graphics and your own design. You can write a welcome post. You can include anything else that you think is important. You can also put up any thoughts you had about the beginning of the course or how you're experiencing the pandemic and the school year. And then as we go on, every day, like I showed you, I'll have starting tomorrow, I'll have a suggestion for what to post so that you don't have to think that hard and create it all from scratch. Does that work for you? Jorge, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go back for a brief second to sharing the screen with the course blog, because I also want to make sure that we're on board with each other. By the end of today and tomorrow, everything for everybody should be done. So these first tasks that I asked for, the comment to the Will This Blog See Tomorrow post, the questionnaire, this little guy with the 5 questions here, the welcome to the club, the setting up your course blog and your email should all be done. And beyond that, you should also start to have a welcome post like tomorrow for this group and be ready for the next steps. Now, I'm going to put a share link in the chat so I can make this super easy for you to find in case you're looking for it. I'm going to stop the screen share for the moment. And what I'd like to invite us to do now is go ahead and take the time that we're here together on Zoom to do the work. And that way, if you have any questions or if you get stuck and you need any help, then I'm here and you can ask me whatever you need. Now, I'm going to say this to people who are watching on the recording. This is probably the time that you don't need to watch any further because I'm just going to be working with people. But if you have a question at home, please, by all means, send me an email or schedule a one-on-one meeting with me so that you can get your questions answered. So from this point on in our live Zoom session, I want to be here for you as you get these things done. And just like if we were in class and I was walking around asking if you were okay or needed any help, this is your time to work and for us to have conversations that will support that. So I'm going to stop yapping at you and let you get to it. And I'll just sit here with you online for a little bit. And if you have questions while you're working with Blogger or commenting to a post or anything else, feel free to ask me either in the chat or out loud if I don't see you right away, and I'll help you. Okay?
question.
Just got your email, Jorge. Thank you very much. It's perfect. And Jorge, I'm on the other screen right now, so I can't see you, but do you prefer to go by Dominguez or Dominguez de la Cruz?
Dominguez, it's okay.
Okay. Just want to be sure. Got it. So now if you go to the member blogs, you're going to see yours.
Should
And
our
thank,
welcome should our welcome page just say welcome or like
yeah, you mean for the title of it?
yeah, the title.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay.
And Sal, thanks. I got your blog. Do you want me to include Junior in your name, or do you just want it to be Salvador Monroy? Is Sal with us? I'm not looking at our screen here. Okay, Sal's going to be with us tomorrow, I guess. It'd be helpful if I knew my alphabet.
Where do we go to create the blog?
So that is blogger.com. And I'll show you on my screen share what it looks like. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Alfredo. Everything. Just kidding, not much. Maria, if you have any questions about what you missed, you can also just check the course blog and look at the agenda for August 18th and ask me if you have any questions, okay? So for anybody who came in here late and is wondering why it's so quiet, uh, everybody's working on their blogs and comments and catching up on their stuff from yesterday and today. If anybody needs any help with anything, please feel free to ask me. And yes, Carlos, just go ahead and create your blog. Thanks, Alfredo. I appreciate you being on top of that. So Azalea, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
It's Azalea.
Azalea, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and include a link to that post, but if you scroll there faster than I can, it's the post that is entitled, Will This Blog See Tomorrow?
Oh, okay.
And if you just scroll down to the bottom of that, you'll see a place for you to enter your comment, and the link is now in the chat.
Are we supposed to name our blog something specific?
You know, your blog name is up to you. I think I mentioned in the directions for that I kind of like alliteration because it's easy to remember. You know, David's dreams or Isaiah's ideas or whatever like that. But it is your blog, so the name is up to you. And the cool thing about Blogger is that you can actually change the name as you go along. So if you get a better idea later, you don't need to feel like, oh my God, this needs to be perfect right now or whatever. Got your email, Caleb. Perfect. Thank you.
What are we supposed to put the web address as?
So for the URL, you're going to do your first initial and then your last name.
Is that it?
And then I'm sorry, SMHS
Okay.
23.
'23.
Hi, Stephanie. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, great. I'm glad we connected on email. That was funny. I was just about to hit admit, and then I saw you disappear. We're just working together on getting our course blogs ready and catching up on anything from yesterday and earlier today. So if you have anything that you have questions about, or if you want to take some time and set up your blog, I'm happy to help. And if you want to treat this like a classroom where everybody's working and I'm just here to support, that's what we're up to for the next little while.
I just don't know where to find the link for like the blog because I just want to send it. I'm done doing it. That's
Oh,
it.
great.
Just send
Okay.
it.
So are you in your Blogger dashboard?
No, wait. Let me just go right here. Oh, jeez.
That's okay. I'll wait.
I found it.
Do you see a place where it says view blog or,
Yeah, I found it.
okay. So go ahead and click on that.
Okay.
And then it'll open a new tab probably.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So grab that URL and copy and paste it.
Okay.
And now open an email wherever you like to send email, whether that's Outlook or your own email.
I'll choose Outlook for this situation.
Okay. And you can go ahead and send that to me at dpreston.learning@gmail.com.
What is the address again?
I'm sorry, which address?
The URL for the blog.
Okay, there's lots of blogs. Are you asking about the URL for your
Oh,
blog? Or-
yeah, to create one.
Okay, so it's blogger.com, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat. So now it's in there for you just to click on.
Oh no, it says this web address is how people find your blog online. Like to create the blog, like with my first initial and last name.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, your first initial, your last name, SMHS 23.
Okay, thank you.
What's your email address?
Preston.
Preston
Dot learning
learning.
at gmail.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Looks good, Stephanie. I like the graphic.
Did you get my email?
I don't have the Zoom screen up. Who am I listening to?
Maria?
Yes, Maria, I just sent you a reply. It looks good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Are we supposed to send you the link for our blog?
Hey, yes, please. Hey, Maria, do you want me to list your name as Maria Aguirre Bermudez or just Aguirre?
Just Aguirre, please.
You got it. No problem. Like
Thank
I said, yeah, sure. Like I said yesterday, I never know from Aries, and so that's why I ask.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Andrea, I got yours too. Thank you.
Whenever I try and put the URL for my blog, it says this blog address is invalid or not supported.
Okay, so don't put any periods in it. You don't need to put the blogspot.com part. All you need is your first initial, last name, SMHS23.
That's what I have.
Okay. Are you using capital letters?
No, they're all lowercase.
Is it saying that it's just not available?
It says this blog address is invalid or not supported.
Okay, so erase the whole thing
All right.
and try it with just your first initial, last name, SMHS.
No, it still says this blog address is invalid or not supported.
Huh. All right, I'm gonna go back to my Zoom thing here, and And you don't have any punctuation after that, do you?
No, it's just that.
Okay. Go up to the top of your browser window and refresh the page.
Okay. Okay, now what?
Okay. And now, before you put in the URL again, go to history and clear your history for the last hour. We're going to try and make this thing forget.
History?
Thank you, Fatima. The link that you sent me is for your dashboard. So remember to hit view blog and copy the URL for the version that looks like what everybody else would see if they were to visit.
Okay, now what do I do after I cleared my history for the past hour?
Okay, now go back and see if you can enter that blog address again and see if it likes it any better.
It still says this blog address is invalid or not supported.
Okay, so erase it again and just put the word cat, C-A-T.
Nope, this blog address is invalid or not supported.
Okay, you gotta have some, okay, let me think. I'm gonna see if I can have you share your screen with me. All right, can you share your screen with me? You go to the toolbar, it should say share screen.
Yeah. So screen?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. There?
Yeah, cool. All right, choose a URL for your blog. Okay. And every time you answer, it gives you that same thing, huh?
Yeah, look.
Okay. Click previous down on the bottom left. And blogger.com onboarding. Okay, you're in the right spot. All right, click next. And where does your cursor land? So it starts on the left. Type anything in there. So there's some hiccup in the interface with you and Blogger. What browser are you on?
Chrome.
You're on Chrome, huh? Do you have any other browsers on your computer?
I think it started with Internet Explorer.
Great. Why don't you go to Internet Explorer? And in the future, you might download Firefox. But for today, go to your Internet Explorer and let's see if we have better luck with that. Because there's something funky that is at a code level. It's not a problem with the website or what you're doing. You're doing everything right.
No, it started with Microsoft Edge. I mean.
Okay. Well, same difference. Go ahead and click to that.
So I go to Blogger.
Uh-huh.
So I use. Okay. So I just name it anything.
Uh-huh. See, Alfredo's blog is fine, just like you had it.
Huh.
Winner.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if you want to turn your screen sharing off, you can, or you can keep it on, whatever you like.
Okay.
So there's a good lesson in that because a lot of the time we'll do the right thing and it just won't work the way we expect. So we have to be patient and we have to figure it out and try a different way. So I'm glad you stuck with it. Oh, Fatima, you're fast. You listened to what I said and you already did it. I was just tapping out the rest of that email to you. So never mind. You got it. Thank you. And Fatima, do you prefer Herrera Hernandez or one or the other?
Either is fine. I'll respond to either. It's all right.
Okay. Well, it's your name on the members blog, so I just want to have it the way that you want it. Do you want both names then?
Sure.
Okay. I'll leave it the way it is. So Carlos, I see your question in the chat. If you are up to date on everything, in other words, if you have updated your sheets so that you were here for yesterday's meeting, that you commented to that Will This Blog See Tomorrow post, that you created your blog and emailed it to me, and that you completed the Welcome to the Club, questionnaire, then you've got the rest of the day off. Make sure that you got a notebook and make sure that you're starting to read that poem, and we're good to go.
So now we email you our blog, like to the link to our blog.
Sorry, your question cut out. Can you repeat that?
Do we now email you the link to our blog?
Yes, please. Thank you.
How do we add the title?
How do you add the title?
Yeah.
Are you asking about a blog post or to the whole blog?
I think to the whole blog.
Okay, so you actually did that when you set it up. That was the first thing that it asked you for.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you want to change it, go down in your dashboard on the left. There's a menu item that says settings, and you can go in there and change it at any time.
All right.
What email are we actually supposed to send it to?
dpreston.learning@gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to ask, do people need help with anything specific? Because if not, then I'm content and you are welcome to work independently offline. Or if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them via email or by setting up a one-on-one if you need to talk to me before our next meeting, which is on Thursday, yeah? So speak now or forever hold your peace, because if we're good, then I'm going to go ahead and end the call and set you free. So Fatima, the journal topics are right there on the course blog. If you look at today's agenda, you'll see that the very first thing is a journal topic. Do you see that?
What are you doing right now?
Are you asking us or someone in your house?
No, that was my friend.
Okay.
But did you get my email?
Let me see. Did you send it to Gmail? Yes,
I-
Carlos. I just got it. Thank you.
Wait, no. I'm Alfredo.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alfredo. I wasn't looking at my Zoom screen, as you can probably tell.
Okay.
So no, I didn't get it yet. Let me double check. And you sent it to dpreston.learning@gmail.com, right?
I can try resending it again.
Yeah, give it a shot. Sometimes they take a few minutes, but usually within 2 or 3 minutes they land.
Okay.
Worst case, I get 2. So Fatima, I was juggling a little bit. I wanted to make sure you got an answer to that question. Did you see the journal prompt? Great.
Is the next time we are meeting next Tuesday?
No, I set this up as a recurring meeting for Tuesdays. I'm going to set another one up and send it to you on Thursday for Thursdays. So our next time that we're meeting is on Thursday. If anybody needs anything, I'm going to add to the course blog between now and then. And, you know, to me, let me ask you guys a question. In your other classes, are you being asked to stay on for the entire hour and a half?
No.
No.
I'm glad to hear that because it's way too long to sit in front of a screen. So my intention as we get forward, you know, the first week or two of this is a lot of orientation kind of stuff. Once we get all of that dialed in to where we want it to be and we're really focused on ideas and reading things and really kind of getting into the meat, at that point, most of the course text and instruction is going to be in really short pieces that you can watch on your own time. The time that we spend together is going to be in discussion and working. And so in that way, you're going to have a lot of flexibility. So we will meet to check in, but beyond that, it's going to vary. Sometimes we'll need to be on for a little bit longer. Sometimes it'll just be a little while. But to start off with, there's so much confusion. I figured we would go with the schedule and then at least have a few minutes together and then see how it goes, like on a day like today. Does that work for you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Are you gonna teach a lesson each day like my average teacher said some teachers were?
The kinds of stuff that we're working on isn't really a lesson a day kind of a thing. If I was teaching algebra, I could see that, but I'm not, thank goodness. So for us, it's really going to depend on how I see the class evolving. Sometimes students need a lot of support and a lot of interaction to get a complicated concept. Sometimes students just get whatever it is intuitively and they don't need to spend a whole lot of time. So rather than have a formula that I make up in advance and have it be like a one size fits all, I'd kind of like to see how people get started with this stuff and how quickly I think we can move so that I can leave most of the pacing up to you. And as long as I see that you're getting the ideas and that your blogs look like champions, I'm going to be okay with that. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure, my pleasure. Okay, you guys, speaking of that, unless somebody needs me to stay on, I'm going to go ahead and end the call so that you can work independently. Is there anybody who has any questions or wants me to stay on the line as other people check out, just in case?
I resent the email.
Great. Well, before I break, let's double check and make sure I got it. Got it, Alfredo. Thank you for resending.
Okay.
All right.
I sent mine too.
And I didn't have the Zoom on the screen. Who said me too?
Carlos.
Carlos, got yours too. Thank you very much for mentioning it.
All right.
All right, you guys, we're good. Have a great day. If you need me between now and Thursday, you know where to find me by now. And if not, I'll see you on Thursday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.